we started talking about cops are not here to serve and protect, and that they're being trained in military tactics, and that hurt me. That because if nothing else, I want unity. I want us to get along, in the words of the great Rodney King.
and bring back, when you say unity, let them know it's just not about unity with minorities as well too.
God no, I'm talking about unity as citizens.
As citizens,
we live in a country that is being run by a fascist bigot, and I'm watching now that he's getting ready to run for a re-election, that he done changed all his views. Like, it's crazy to me. This also, he done put a 2-week stay on the deportation. Mm-hmm. This is the thing that got you where you at, and so if and I know it's all sorts, but I gotta say this: if y'all don't open y'all fucking eyes and see what's happening, what make me mad about our country is that we keep getting played. We keep getting played. Like, Trump didn't sneak into the office. He walked in with his head held high, his shoulders up, belly sticking out, and he walked right in the door. And we let him. We let him in the door. Did we not?
2K. Yeah.
Oh, and the hair was flumping in the wind. And I don't mean to dig on the dude, because as much as I don't like his policies and as much as I know he's a racist piece of shit, like, I gotta respect him though, because he a racist piece of shit who the president. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here's a man who, like, actively committed crimes. Like, they were clear. And yet, 2 years, the investigation went on, and when it was all said and done, even though they said something that it wasn't, nothing happened. And America done forgot about it. You don't even see that shit on the news no more. They ain't saying nothing. Like, oh, well, the Mueller report came out, and Trump people said that he was not colluding, and he was completely free. And even though everybody else said that wasn't what it said, and they did all these different changes, and we're gonna subpoena this and subpoena that, and it was all over the news. And I remember being in the joint, like, looking like, oh wow, and now,
so
it never happened.
Think about that, bro.
You know, for the most part, my understanding, the reason you're not hearing about it is because, like Pelosi said, as sitting president, he can't be charged on federal indictment. He can't be charged with federal crimes. That's why you got cities like Chicago that are trying to draw up indictments against him, because they can still follow up on a state level, but on a federal level they can't while he's sitting in office. So that's not to say that if he's not there in 2020, that this is not going to be revisited.
Okay,
like
here's my problem.
Keep your cards, you know what I'm saying, up your sleeve and play them later.
Here's my problem. Clinton, and I'm no fan of Clinton. Let me be very clear about that. I know what the fucker did. I know the laws he signed into effect when he was in office, and I know that we are still suffering from those laws right now. So fuck you, Clinton. But when Clinton was in office, he got some head from a chick, and damn, they got impeached. Like, let's go. The president now,
grab him by the pussy.
I mean, put all that aside.
Oh, okay.
You have actively engaged in a whole heap of shit. You paid off a porn star. You the president.
With campaign money.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's your money. That's the problem.
Yeah. Like, you did so. If I'm not mistaken, he was facing 2 or 3 different charges when he actually stepped in office. He was facing charges on assault against women. This is a man who, on TV, made fun of a disabled person. Who, on TV, made a joke about if he went on Park Avenue and shot someone, I would lose 1 follower. And he the president. I'm so sick of being in a country that keep getting played. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, so you say to me like, well, go out and vote. Fuck you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did vote. And if I'm not mistaken, Hillary Clinton had the majority of votes. And still she's not president. So fuck you. Don't come to me about get out and vote.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that shit.
Put the mouthpiece whatever there they want to be there. He's the mouthpiece.
Come on, man. Like, all I'm saying to you is, and yeah, I'm upset because it just pissed me off. Just thinking about, like, we talking about all these things, but like, I'm supposed to love my country. I'm supposed to, like, be ready to get drafted and go and fight for my country, or send one of my children to fight for my country, and my country ain't got zero fucking love for me. My country let the people who are not here to serve and protect, the people who are supposed to enforce the law, kill my people and have no repercussion. Take a paid leave vacation. So fuck you.
On camera.
On camera. And even when it's been proven that these guys were out of line, they still get what? Nothing. Fuck you. Like, so I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that that I allowed my emotions to get the best of me. I'm so sorry. But let's be real for a second. Fuck you. Like, this is bullshit. Like you said, how was Sheep described? These were good people who worked and took care of their family.
Yeah.
How is that a bad thing? How is being a person who works and takes care of their family a bad thing?
They look down on you. They look at you like you're vulnerable, you're weak, and I have been put here by God to watch over you.
But listen, you can call me a sheep. Try me though. That's what I say. Like if you look down on me because I work and take care of my family, because that's what the sheep do, right? Because I try to be a good person, and you think I'm a sheep and you want to be a wolf and you want try me. Like you know, and then I'm a sheepdog your ass. Like and you can be wondering what happened. I thought you was a sheep. Well, a sheepdog is a dog that look like a sheep. He got all the wool like the sheep, but he's not a sheep. So if you fuck around and sneak up on a sheepdog thinking you getting the sheep, try me. Like fuck you. I mean it. Like so. Unlike some of my counterparts, I done been on the other side. No, bro, I done been on the other side. I done been on the listen, let me tell you something. We talking about police brutality. Physically been put in the hospital by the cops who sat next to me all night while I was hooked on machines, talking about how he wished I had died. How he had a sister who got hooked on crack, and a motherfucker like me was, that was the reason that she lost her life. Fuck you, cop. Like, I don't even know you or your sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was legit who, yes, was misguided, made some bad choices, but now I'm 42, and I don't make those choices no more. Yeah. Now I take being a man and being a father very, very seriously. Yeah. I know that it's more important that I come home at night than it is that I fight a point with a cop. If you want to pull me over, tell me I was speeding, fine. You want to give me a $300 ticket? Fucking fine. Let me go home to my kids. I'm not gonna pull a gun on you. Let's be very clear about that. I'm not gonna do any of these things that you would justify.
I ain't gonna jeopardize my freedom for you.
Nah, you ain't worth it, G. I got kids, man, and a wife who I love more than anything on this planet. So let's be very clear. Fuck you, those who believe anything other than what we're trying to express right here. And I'm sorry, I know I got a little off the chain, but fuck you. I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. I'm out on that.
That's raw and uncut.
That's okay. Hey, man.
I'm just think about it. We deal with a bunch of bullshit. This is bullshit,
no,
bro.
I'm saying at the end of the day, when we came together, bro, this is what we want. We want to talk about the real, bro.
And that's all I can give it to you then.
That's how it's supposed to be, dog.
And sometimes you gotta have this emotion, man.
Bring it to the table.
So people understand, like, this is real life. This is not a game, bro. We are not playing Call of Duty. This ain't for followers. Yeah, for real. This ain't for your likes. No, this is real stuff. It's here to educate you, man. So seriously, man.
Save a life, man. Let's be real. Save this type of shit.
Reach one, teach one, man.
Knowing the knowledge that he's given, this knowledge that. Say it again. Please.
Reach one, teach one, bro.
Listen,
real.
If we can reach one
and teach one, bro,
and then that one teach one, right there we start a chain reaction.
I read a powerful quote the other day, man, and I put this on my post, man, and right now I'm living by this. In order for a man to be rich himself, he has to enrich others.
I saw that post,
bro.
Yes, I like that. Yes,
a lot of people won't get that, but simply is that, bro. I'm not talking about riches. I'm not talking about money, but in order to reach.
To piggyback on that, in the words of an old pimp, the game is made to be told, not sold. Come on, baby. Come on. So we're here to tell it to you.
To when we were talking earlier about what we need to do in order to invoke change is unity, and not to give. I don't want to go too more far down the political side of it, but I'm always explaining this to people all the time. Okay, we're intentionally being divided by all these different social media. We're getting blanketed and inundated with stupid little things, and whether you like my beliefs or not, I say that I don't think your vote matters, because I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know anybody in office that's gonna see any one of you guys pulled over with a flat tire stop and give you a hand.
Say it again. Say that again.
Nobody in office that I've ever seen is gonna stop when you got a flat tire and give you a hand.
Boy, name one. Name one in the last 100.
But we're fighting with our neighbors.
Name one.
Wait.
Name one, man.
But we're fighting with our neighbors to defend these people. When I'm like, you need to go to your neighbor, regardless of what their political beliefs are, because they might be able to help you with a light bill. They might be able to help you. So we're alienating people that are close to us.
Yeah, listen, did y'all pick that?
People that don't give a shit about
Come on, man. Come on, man. That's it. Well, listen, that is a fresh, unique perspective that we need to. We fight with our neighbors over somebody who wouldn't give two shits about us. Seriously, bro. That's it.
If somebody comes out of our neighborhood,
those are people that can help you.
To damage our neighborhood, then you got to join together to protect our neighborhood before he comes and do anything in our neighborhood.
I think that's the thing too, man.
Big fact.
I feel like back in the day, man, like when it came to our neighborhoods, everybody knew each other. What did you say?
Yeah.
If one of your kids stepped out of line, you got beat by the whole.
Come on, man. That's how I was raised, bro.
Come on, bro.
Now, see, you can't do that either. No. You be somebody's kid you want to.
You get locked up.
I'll be honest with you. Don't beat mine either. Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, don't beat my kids.
I'm not saying in the aspect of.
But no, you're right though, because that's how I was raised, bro. Yeah, that's how I was raised,
bro. That's all. That's right now. That's all we got, bro.
And you when you saw your neighbor as a kid when I was growing up, it was hey Miss So and So, hey Miss. It was never like and if you walk to somebody else's house, what could you not do?
Speak.
Walk in there and don't speak. Well, you better pick your teeth out your. Oh, I'm sorry, that was my teeth. I was gonna speak.
You ain't getting past the couch.
Yeah, come on, man. And now kids today, even my own kids who I love more than anything, I watch them sometimes come home, got a little attitude. Hey, oh no, not mine. And my wife don't play at all. TV. What you say? I wish you would walk around TV don't speak.
I know we kind of got off subject, but
we having fun though.
Yeah, there's a question I did want to ask you when because I didn't really get into too much research about his tactics when we're talking about David Grossman, and him, training 50 states in the law enforcement.
Well, you feel good. Your curls is long.
They popping.
It kind of like Trump toupee.
Okay, back on the question.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll tell you because he's snapping me now. I mean, so he's gonna flame on me now. That's what he does. He flames on me, and I don't understand why. I don't get it at all. Get to your question. I apologize. I didn't mean to throw you off Trump hair. He's not talking that one.
Do you know anything about his tactics? Like, have you studied or have you?
I dove into it. It's been quite a while, to be honest with you. You go through different progressions. Every time you have a paradigm shift, I told you guys, when you have a paradigm shift, you go through different emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's like they say they have different stages of like when you're someone dies close to you or whatever, and you have different stages of grief. You may have denial, you have anger, this and that or whatever. I think the same thing is when you start opening your eyes to law enforcement and what's really going on behind the scenes. Because I went through a part where I was fuck the police. I went through a part where I was pissed off. I wanted to take to the streets. I wanted to do something. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but and that was in the stages where I studied more of the aspects of it. Now I try to focus more on what we can do. Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't want to keep looking around because, I mean, if you're always looking for something, you're always going to find it, right? Absolutely. And I was always looking for problems with it. And, little things, like I said, like mental health evaluations. I got another thing that I think that they were talking about doing this experimental in Washington State, I believe. And I think it's a fantastic idea, is doing individual liability insurance for police officers.
Okay.
So instead of having these $9 million lawsuits come out that we pay for, what I think should happen is you, as a law enforcement officer, should be required to have your own liability insurance, kind of like when you're driving. You get points on it. Guess what? Your shit goes up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, damn.
Wow. Boy, listen.
Okay, so it can be paid for.
We're talking about accountability.
Individual accountability. Whereas the citizens can pay for their liability insurance up to a certain amount of demerits, and then it progressively turns back to the individual responsibility. So in law enforcement, if you've got 9, you need to say something?
No, Steve for president.
Okay. Yeah, if you are known
Steve 2020
for beating people and having all these criminal complaints within the department, then you get more than 12 points in 12 months. All right, now you're required to pay 10% of your own liability insurance. It's going to get to the point where you have to pay 100%, and if you still want to foot that bill, it's going to keep going up. So financially, it's going to start weeding out all of the bad apples.
That's that's a viable solution. That's like finally something viable.
That's 5.
Steve for president. Yep.
That's 5.
Call it. We talk about solutions. I need y'all to take this solution that he just introduced and run with it. We need to get it in front of the people who make the laws and start pushing. You know what? It's an election coming up.
Yeah, but first off, it needs to be unity. We have to come together first, like you were saying. 1,000 calls, 1,000 people, more than that.
But you know how you achieve unity? You find a common ground.
Right.
We already got a common ground because we're all mad. So really, think about the civil rights movement. Anger was the reason those people got together. Our people got together and moved because they was angry. So we got everybody angry, common ground. Now, a common ground of anger with nowhere to go, nowhere to direct it is just a bunch of mayhem. But then you get a solution, because that's what this is to your point.
You have to focus all of that energy.
Yeah, you focus that into that solution. See, just saying to our people who run shit, hey, y'all need to make some changes. Change. Well, what would you like us to do? Steven gave us an idea. This is what we want y'all to do.
You know what else I want him to do? I want them to get those fucking blue line stickers and flags off every one of their cars, off every one of their uniforms. I want them to go back to an American flag because we are the United States.
Oh, that's right.
And they are a part of us.
Yeah.
And that's the cause of the
God
divide.
damn it, Steven.
Because now they want to back the blue. Wait a minute. No. Back the red, white, and blue. This is what we do for our country. You're supposed to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Shots.
You're not supposed to defend your own people.
I'm going to do kills.
They instill this gang mentality that you're the blue and then there's everybody else. I mean, what's the difference between the Bloods and Crips when it comes to that? Okay, so they're blue. Everybody's got, I back the blue. No, man, let's back the country. Let's improve the civilian life. Let's improve the communities. But I don't like the fact that you have officers that have taken their American flag and now they're showing their true allegiance with a blue line flag on it. They don't even. Most of them don't even have an American flag anymore. To me, that's an insult. And honestly, I think that's against the flag code. I have to look more into it. But
if you kneel down during the Pledge of Allegiance, you consider a terrorist. But you can take your flag off and put the blue flag on. Come on, man. See, this is why I got upset earlier. See.
That is so disrespectful.
I mean, so disrespectful.
And I understand, like, okay.
I never looked at it like that though.
Every time I see it, it's just like.
But you noticed it. You had already noticed it. Like, I never noticed that, bro. Like, now he said
it's like either the blue flag with it's a black and white
flag. It's psychological warfare, and they go to these trainings and they tell you guys are all sheepdog. You guys are all blue. You guys.
Police is a mafia now. Like, they're trying to make it into it's lucky.
Right. It's them against us, and they're trained in that. That's instilled in them. So when they go out, even if they had good intentions when they signed up, that's all trained out of them. Did you know that the Supreme Court has ruled that a police department can deny you eligibility to be on their force if your IQ is too high? Did you know that? That's a true story. I did not know that. If your IQ is too high, they can deny you from being in their police department.
Wow.
What does that say? I don't want to say anything exactly. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to obey orders.
What?
Wow! I hope y'all hear this because mind blown. So listen,
and do your research on it.
Listen, there's a show. There's a show on HBO. I just want to plug it real quick because they actually did an episode on this guy we were just talking about, Grossman. I didn't realize the same guy until you kept telling me the stories. So remember back in the day I told y'all I watched this show where the guy always talks about policing in the United States. It's called. I gotta look it up though. But so every episode he talks about something different, but he always brings it back to policing. Every episode is freaking crazy. And one of them he actually was talking about Grossman and how he brought the military tactics and yada yada blah blah. But it's really good for you to see because you were asking about what the tactics he was teaching. Remember that day I was telling y'all that they had that gun that shoot like a glue and it instantly. That was the show I watched. That's what they was talking about him. But they were saying there are other ways to go about policing. Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I read, and I don't, just so we clear, I don't read books I don't read self-help books. I just don't. I don't feel like I need it. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking nobody else. I like to read just mystery novels, things like that, right? And I read a lot. So a lot of things I didn't know. Like when Steven was talking to us that day, when we were all sitting there, I was sitting there so mad. Like this was I was so upset for two reasons. One, I knew it all was true. A lot of times we know things, and if somebody else articulates it, then it becomes real to you.
Right.
So I knew it was true. Mm-hmm. But when you articulated the way you did, and God, you left no room for doubt. Mm. That upset me. Not with you, just upset me with why I gotta live in this state? I'm not a bad guy. We're not bad guys. You know what I'm saying? But either one of us can get in our car and leave here right now and never make it home, and there'd be no fault other than some cop hopped up wanting to have good sex. And I use that as reference because of what we said in the beginning. But y'all understand what I mean. Mm-hmm. And that's sad, man. And I always take it back to this. I got kids. I don't ever want my wife to have to say to my kids, "Your dad ain't never coming home." Yeah, man. We laid my father to rest 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. But I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? This happened when I was a grown man. I had accomplished things, and I was able to show him. He was at my wedding, so these. And coming from my background, this is a big deal. I know for some people that's a common thing, but for me, that's a big deal. So, just the thought of my children looking at my wife and asking where he is, and her having to say he locked up or he dead, that mortifies me. That nothing terrifies me more. Yeah. When we first met, I asked you guys, what is a black man's biggest fear? Steve, you wasn't here for this, but I asked him, and I think we came to consensus that we don't like to be played. We agree, right? And then you hear Steven say all the things he said, and we realize that we have not only have we been being played, we in a position where we got to continually be played. Maybe for the rest of our life, maybe not, but who knows? And that was our biggest fear. But now I come to the realization that I have a fear that's bigger, and that's the one I just explained to you. My biggest fear is my kids asking where I am and her not being able to give them an answer other than he on the way home. He on the way home, like fuck everything else is going on. The answer always needs to be, if I'm not here, he'll be home soon. It can't be something other than that. That's my biggest fear. I don't ever want to not be here for them because thanks to you, thanks to our thing, I've got a new perspective in life. I've got a better understanding of the life that I have to live, that I have to turn over to my children. Yeah. So thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like it's important to me that that the world understand that we don't just talk. We live in this. You know what I'm saying? Like Big, look at Big. Can you imagine a cop getting mad with Big? Like, and when you told us that you got pulled over, I was scared for you, and you was here talking to us.
My heart dropped.
Yeah, right. See, and that's what I'm saying. I was scared because here's a man who, if I saw him and didn't know him, I would prejudge him, and I'm black. So I can only imagine how a white cop would see you in your car with the dark tint. I can only imagine, boss. I'm like you. I've been on the other side. Like I really have been on the other side. Like I've never been a thug. I played the role, but I never was. It was never really in my DNA. And all my friends who know me know it to be true. Yeah. But I can play the role. I can play any role. So having said that, I've been on the other side. I've seen the evil that we have to face.
Yeah, that's why I started smelling
candle.
Oh, you burning it out?
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I've been to the other side, man, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's a scary. If you from Jacksonville, where I know that I know that there's a lot of things that go on in Jacksonville that's just heinous and unheard of, and you from here, right? You from A?
APK, sorry.
Oh, I keep forgetting you a homie. That's right. We from the A together. So you understand, like growing up in the A, man. Yeah, that was
my dog gave you one of them cold.
Okay, that's from the A. Shout out to the APK, man. Shout out to the APK because that's the home team, and nothing but love for the APK because that's where it all started for me. God knows it. And all I'm saying is to you guys is that it's so important that we get this message out. It's so important that we understand what you're teaching.
And also to piggyback off you, not to cut you off.
No, you literally cut me off, but
Sorry.
it's okay.
That was straight up.
Like literally, but
no blinker, nothing.
Yeah, just do your thing. That's my dog,
though. To going back, what you saying, and it's not also we're not against cops. We're trying to weed out the bad ones that obviously they can't figure out to weed out. We just want to give you guys the knowledge to understand that, you have rights. You were given rights before you were even born. You know what I'm saying? You were given rights before your grandparents was born. So to go back, we're not against cops. We're trying to figure out solutions to weed out these bad cops. We know that, like you said in the last or a few back when we did police brutality, that there are a lot of good cops.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And there are good cops that want to do the same as you, go back to their family. Yeah. So we're just talking about solutions for, as Grossman would call us, sheep.
Try me.
We're trying to find the solutions where we can weed these low IQ, as in you said.
I'm not saying that they are, and I don't want that to be misinterpreted.
Take that back.
I'm just saying that.
I like that though.
I'm saying that what message does that send to us that if it even has to come to the point where the Supreme Court has to say, yes, they can do that. What's the message and how we proceed? I'm not saying that cops are stupid. I met some that are brilliant. You know what I'm saying? But
I didn't mean to say that. He said that, yo.
Why does it even have to come to that where they have to rule on that?
No, I agree 100%. Why in the hell would that be a ruling?
I'm with you on that, and I apologize. I apologize for that. But we're just trying to weed out and find the solutions where we can just, become
a better country.
Better country. Unity. Protect thy neighborhood. Love thy neighbor.
Something we were talking about when we were saying that it looked like there's a underlying, division going on amongst the people, and just tying that in with, we're saying these things about, we understand these things about what the cops supposed to do and what they're allowed to do, and we obviously see what's going on. But something he said that's so significant, especially for the black man, is that there's no point in trying to plead your case on the spot, on the side of the road, with a cop at one-on-one face. You know what I'm saying? There's no point And but I was right. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's no point at it. But there's something that he said that
just gonna make him do this to his vest.
Yeah, like, you gotta understand that.
So don't do it.
That
good old boy.
Lean.
The thing I love about you know,
you know what I got on my side right here, right, buddy?
Like, wait, holding that.
It's something that we were talking about when you said that what a black man most afraid of, and we were talking about being played, but. And me and not trying to be like I'm holier than thou, better than somebody. Don't turn that off now. Getting my elbows bit up. One thing I want to talk about, man, is that just even bringing that to God, and I'm not trying to sound preaching thing, but bringing that to God and hearing what He said. He was like, ask a better question or a more general question. What are all men afraid of? And I think it's about being vulnerable in general. You know what I mean, and letting that be exposed. So with that being said, when we're talking about you talking, and I don't want to say it like you're a child or anything, but when you talk back to the cop or you're trying to plead your case and you feel your emotions getting in, whatever the case may be, not saying that you don't have a right. It's better for you to be quiet anyway. But if you're going back, you got to understand, human to human psyche, I'm the law. You're not supposed to be talking to me like you're provoking somebody's ego. Not saying who right and who wrong. You're provoking somebody's ego as a man. As a man, like, you know what I'm saying? If you provoke another man's ego, you better be ready to challenge
the law.
Right.
But the man is perceiving the message.
Exactly.
And that's who you're going to have to deal with, the man.
Exactly. And then the law will say, well, he won an hour, so we just going to let him go on this one. But, sorry about your loss. And you don't win. You're not going to win by arguing. You're not going to. So, understanding human psyche and knowing that, for one, somebody's ego, whether you tried to or that was your intention or not, somebody's ego is being poked when you're talking to them a certain way. Or you don't even have to talk to them a certain way. You just telling, you know what I'm saying? So, bringing that, and then also understanding that, I had a friend who told me that he actually did.
Know your rights.
You have to know your rights.
Know your rights. Man.
He was saying that, man, I did the police academy for, I think he said a few weeks. And he was like, man, the stuff that they were doing, like teaching us, I forgot why he dropped out, but he was like, the stuff that they were teaching us, they made the cops terrified, like to the point where, and you know what I'm saying? Yes, it is a dangerous job. Don't get me wrong. We're not underlining that at all. But the way they portray it, I don't know if y'all remember, like in middle school, the little germ video used to show where they was like, when you sneeze and they show you how I look in the mic. And for the longest, even to this day, when people sneeze around my food, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it brings this type of
get on my nerve with it.
It brings this type of psyche where you're now you're hostile already. You ain't even picked up your gun yet. You already, I've been in confrontations with cops, and you were talking about your experience where they see a big black man, and I'm not even big. I'm just 6. You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'2", but with dreads, but I'm not even big. This dude pulled me over and had his hands on his gun, like, you know what I'm saying? But he's already in a hostile state. Something he said, and he was like,
no record, not a criminal,
ain't got nothing, no suspicion, or anything like that. Something he said.
Is you is black, though. You know that, right?
Okay, I know.
So all that don't mean
that's
nothing.
what I'm saying. Like, but they're being, I feel like they're being trained, according to what I've heard of somebody who actually experienced. They're being trained to be scared. Something he said that, now we're at a position where we got to calm the law enforcement down. Like, as much as that suck. Consider that perspective. Consider that perspective, because we're talking about going home and all this stuff. But consider that perspective when we're talking about, in order for me to go home, he hostile. If he shoot me,
I gotta calm him down.
I got to calm him.
Right.
So the best way to do that.
That's one of the small practical solutions that I feel like as individuals, if we're really about getting home, or if you want to fight the power, like some people, look, I die for this. All right, well,
you're right. For this. You will.
You know what I'm saying? You don't die for it.
How you get home? How you get home? What you exercise? One more time.
Should have.
Exercise that most important right. You have the right, and I now that we've had this discussion, I love it. Mm-hmm. You have the right to remain
Responsibility.
Even better. Shut the fuck up.
Shutting up, man. Shut up, man. And it's a pride issue for us too, because I know, like you were saying about your son. I'm 25, so I'm the closest to your son.
Sometimes when you shut the fuck up, they get pissed off even more.
One thing
I had that done to me too. So
when he was talking about your case, one thing that I wanted to say was, first of all, if you know you're right, you don't have to prove it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that you're right, there's no point in arguing.
That's it.
But the way that you handled yourself when you said you got pulled over, the way that I look at situations like this, and the way that I think it should be looked at, is it's a chess match. First of all, you need to know where you're at on the board, what you're doing, but more importantly, you have to understand the mentality of your opponent and why they're trying to put you in a corner.
Yes, sir, bro.
So if they're trying to put you in a situation, then my best, safest move is to not be there.
Don't play.
Like Bruce Lee said, the best way to not get hit is to not be where the fist is.
Yeah, that's real.
So, I mean, if you think about what your
opponent...
Y'all see how he paralleled us? What we said last time. Don't be playing checkers when they playing chess.
Yeah.
Learn the game. Like that's
and know your opponent.
Know your opponent. That's
because
right.
if you don't, then you don't know what to expect. They could be irrational or.
And the one advantage we got is what he just said is that we do know our opponent. This is their one drawback. They're not being shy about putting their intentions and how far they're willing to go right in front of your face. So we do know our opponent. The problem with us is we keep playing checkers when we should be playing chess.
Right. And
we
a lot of people don't know the rules of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Or we trying to play chess and don't know the rules.
So if they're cheating and you don't know that, that doesn't help your case either.
And that's a good point. If they're cheating and you don't know, you're fucked. So the only way to combat that is to know.
Correct.
You got to know.
You got to know your rights.
You got to know your rights. And I'm not just saying it to you guys, but I'm saying it to myself. You know, you got to know your rights. Yeah. Because if you don't, you open your door to being a victim, and nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody wants to be. Nobody elects to be a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be a sheepdog. I want to be known as a person who protected those he loved.
You are,
and I love my people.
You're my sheepdog.
You're already a sheepdog, man.
That's what I'm saying. For him to have that whole entire
that's what pissed me off.
That whole little view, like, oh, they're sheep and they're sheepdogs, and then we're the.
It's a perverse mentality.
Like, dude, you don't understand. What you call a sheep is actually the sheepdog.
How much money do you think he makes off this?
Oh, you know he get paid a grip, brother.
If it's
working, they usually, I think it's like $100 a person, a seminar.
Come on, man.
And they'll probably pack like
1,000 people.
It's not the book sales.
No, this is the seminar.
So he walking away with like 60 to 70 grand after the door and everything he paid for.
This is not including the training that he gets paid.
Yeah, and that's.
Oh, this is.
Remember I told you this man.
Yeah, they'll bring, and they use our money.
He don't do it for the money though. Y'all know that, right? He was bored. He said it.
These seminars should be open to the public. When the seminars I believe you can pay for, but I'm saying when they take our money to train them, we should have an oversight committee that's allowed to go there, since it's being paid for with our tax dollars, when they do the training, and we should be able to do it. I know that sometimes departments, if you call them up, you say, hey, I want to see how you do the K-9 training, you want to do this, everybody knows you can do ride-alongs and stuff like that, but that does go to something and segues into something else when we're talking about solutions. We okay on time?
No, you're fine.
Okay. That's another solution that absolutely needs to be addressed. Internal affairs is a joke. It's like me committing a crime and it's saying, yo, homeboy, you think I did it? You think I did it? No, I'm good. All right, we looked into it and we're good. We needed an independent oversight committee.
Civilian oversight committee.
Correct. Now, I'm not talking about for administrative disciplinary actions, something that's against their department policies. Okay, I don't mind that being handled in-house just like any company would. But when you're talking about a breach of law and then you have their brothers and sisters and whatever are the ones that are doing the investigations, it's really tough for us as a public to hold that accountable. And we've all seen the outcome of these investigations. The claims were unfounded. We didn't see them to do anything wrong. And a lot of times it just depends when it comes to accountability on how big the case has gotten. What I suggest we do, and again, I'm not trying to bring problems to the table. I'm not here to complain. I want to tell you what I think we should have. I think there should be an oversight committee for these investigations that has at least one, maybe two retired law enforcement.
So they know
they can't be active, because anytime someone steps up, this is another thing we need to have. We need to have protections for whistleblowers and law enforcement, because if you've ever seen any good cop that tries to come out and speak out, they're not with the force more than another month. There was that white woman from Miami or Fort Lauderdale that pulled that police officer over on 95. That was a pretty big case that went viral. Well, what most people don't know is that she got, over 300-something threats. She went back to the DAVID system, which is the driver and vehicle information database. That's what police and law enforcement use to run your tags, to do this, okay? And she went back and she did a FOIA request. That's something that you guys need to educate yourselves on. FOIA requests. It's the Freedom of Information Act. It's a public accessible records. So you can go back and you can hold your people accountable, okay? But she did a FOIA request of the DAVID system to see who was running her plates. and it was law enforcement all over the country, and they were doxing her, they were putting out her home address, they were harassing her. These are law enforcement who one officer tried to do the right thing because she pulled over someone from a different department, and they all ganged up on her. She's not with the department anymore. So we need we need protection for these whistleblowers so they can come out and say, man, this dude is a cancer.
We got to address that first because, real. Why would I ever put my, and that goes back to what we were talking about before. What comes first, my people or my family? Like, how am I going to step up and try to fight for my people if it means I might not be able to feed my family? Did that make me less of a man? Because I think it would. I mean, wouldn't it? So, yeah, if we don't address that, wow, this is why we need people like Steven on the show.
But going back to the oversight committee, we need retired law enforcement, so they're not necessarily going to be targeted, or they're not pressured by the peers that they still work with every day.
Right.
And it's hard to get charges brought up on a police officer because the prosecuting attorneys, the DAs, they work with them.
They all work together.
So the last thing that they want to do is try to, disrupt the house, right? Mm-hmm. I think there need to be civilians on that oversight committee also. Because they need to sit down and say, listen, what we're talking about here is whether or not they broke the law. If they broke the law, they need to be held accountable legally. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you something else that I kind of come up with over the years studying this. It's just kind of it just kind of blows your mind when you think about it. So when you talk about the charges and the discipline that you get for certain crimes as a minor, he was charged as a minor. He was charged as a minor. What does that mean? It means that as a child, they may not understand the gravity of the crimes that they committed, right? And so we take it easy on them, hoping that it's going to be a learning experience. So as an adult, we expect you to know better in your adulthood, have a better moral compass, and understand the ramifications of the people that you hurt. So that's why your punishment's harsher. Then why do law enforcement get less punishment than a citizen or a civilian when, if anybody, they should know the law better, meaning that they have already known it, they still decided to break the law, and they took an oath to defend and protect those laws. So they should be even stiffer penalties for law enforcement who still decide, regardless of the situation. That's what I'm saying. It's things that people don't think about, okay? There's a lot of little things that slip through the cracks. You're just spoon-fed crap growing up, you know what I'm saying? But every once in a while, you got to say, what are they feeding me here? Yes. So they do...
Say it louder, Lee.
Being played.
That's right. We're all being played. We're all being played. And a lot of it, all you have to do is just sit there and say, okay, I've been told to look at it from this angle. Get up and look at it from another angle. You know what I'm saying? See who's behind the curtain. See who's pulling the strings.
Perspective. We all about new perspectives. And Steven, I want to say, bring to the table, because boy, you
definitely did.
God, have mercy, Jesus. I want to ask you on air.
Yes.
Will you return at a later date?
Absolutely.
Because I think we're gonna definitely have to have you back at some point.
I'm gonna also be. I made some notes. I didn't get to print it up. I'm gonna be giving you guys some homework. If you just little things like, here, look up this, like the Dave Grossman thing. Okay, that's only one direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But we got 360 degrees in this thing, and we want to break it down and see it from every side. So I'm gonna give you that. If you guys want, you can even take some of these things. I can get you guys some links for some good videos. If your viewers want to check some of it out themselves, do their own homework, share it with them. Yes, like you said, we just need to plant the seeds, and then we need to feed it, and then let it grow. And
before you know, it's all about sharing information. We really want that's why it was so important to have you on the show. Shout out to you all day long. I cannot express enough how amazing this was. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I knew a little bit because we talk at work sometimes, but I didn't know that it was gonna be so good. I feel like I'm full. Yeah. I can't wait to digest it. And I hope that when you guys are watching this at a later time, and those of you who are watching right now, I hope you're getting something from what we're trying to impart to you. And here's the best part about what we're doing right now. It's all free. We ain't ask for nothing. It's all free. Psych. We do ask that you
subscribe at 1999
and share. Like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. That's the price of the knowledge or the gems that we're giving out. Steven, tell them about you real quick. About you personally.
Click subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Anything that you want to know about Steven, you can reach out to us. And Steven, if you are interested, we will put your information on our rollout like we do when we do the edited copy.
I will say this, and it also comes to solutions. And you when you first asked me, you opened my mouth, man. I could do this for another 4 hours and still never say the same thing twice. But me and Anthony actually got started because we were talking about this. One of the things that I want to do is to go out there, give back to the community. I feel like I've been gathering all this information. It's like, okay, now what do I do with it? You know what I'm saying? Knowledge without application is useless. You're not going to do anything. So I want to start applying it, and that's why I kind of talked to him. That's why I kind of talked to him, because I'm like, even being a white man.
Stephen White, y'all, because y'all can tell.
I don't know if you saw that against the background or whatever.
Full black brother, but we got the white guy.
And me.
It's not fair. It's not the light. It's not the light today, guys.
So what I started talking to him about is I kind of need a foot in the door to reach out to the black community. You know what I'm saying? Just at least for somebody to hear me out.
Why do you want to reach out to the black community?
Because I feel like they're being targeted. What do I gain?
What do you gain by reaching out to the black community?
Because if your house is in a better order and I'm next door, my house is going to be in a better order. But
That's so real. 100.
What I want to do.
You know why? I'm sorry. I just want to. You know why? Around your own people are suspicious always of change and things that are different. And I know the question people are. So what he get out of it? So I couldn't ask for a better answer.
When I first started looking into police, it's like a lot of things. You're going in there to try to prove it wrong,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And then you start seeing patterns, and you're like, holy shit, it's deeper than I thought. So then you keep digging and digging. And, you know, and we haven't even got a lot to it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but a lot of it is a war on economic. They use economic warfare on black communities and lower caste communities and minorities who are just, just starting to get their foot in the door. You know what I'm saying? You got first generation college kids and stuff. But, you know, it's really tough when you get locked up in a system. Okay, the reason they target is because they don't think that you're going to be able to fight the case. It has nothing to do with innocent or guilt. It has everything to do with putting somebody in that prison system. Okay, I don't know if most people know this or that. They have contracts with the state, and they have clauses in there that they have occupancy clauses, and if they don't meet those occupancy quotas, then the state has to pay them. Okay, so that money's got to come from somewhere, right? So they don't want to do that. So they put out quotas. They put incentive for people to go lock people up. There was that judge that just got 28 years in Pennsylvania because he admitted that he had been sending black kids, regardless of their crimes, regardless of whatever. If he didn't think that they could fight it, he would send them to prison. And he would get kickbacks, okay? That's why I do it, because I know it's not a fair, you know what I'm saying? It's not a fair game. I don't think anybody should be treated like that. But what I was going to say is I do want to get maybe some attorneys on board. I want to start doing a program where we can educate people. It doesn't have to be black people. I don't care who it is. Anybody that wants to learn.
I'm down for that.
But you know, I want to get an attorney involved. I want to be able to hand out pamphlets. They can have the attorney's contact information, basic little rights, little things you can look up. Just again to plant the seeds. And another program that I want to implement is I want to get dash cams in as many cars as I can. And I'm working on trying to find out. I got
private citizen cars, or
yes. I can. I've almost got it worked out where for under $20, I can get a dash cam with the memory card in your car. And if I can flood the streets with hundreds of them, I'd like that. And when you talk about that, Polk County is one of 3 counties in the 60-something in the state of Florida. Judd doesn't want body cams. They've been fighting it for a while. That sends a bad message. Don't you want accountability? Because what a camera is an unbiased witness. And when it talks about crime, that's what we need. People are emotional. They get adrenaline. So when they see something, and that's another thing in police training.
7, 8.
In police training, the reason why they're always saying stop resisting, it's not for you. It has nothing to do with your actions. It's for the people that hear it. So when they testify, they can say, well, he was resisting. I kept hearing them scream, stop resisting. Okay, it has nothing to do with what you're doing. There was an officer that was just charged in a case, I believe it was in Montana, because if it wasn't for the dash cam, he would have got off. But he was beating a black man while he was trying to take him out of his car. The guy had his hands up in the air, and he was screaming, stop reaching for my weapon, stop reaching for my weapon.
Both his hands in the
air.
Both
his hands are in the air, but he thought the audio was running. He didn't know the video was. So basically, again, I want to be able to get dash cams to everybody that wants them. Under $20, I don't think is unreasonable. You never know, and it's not always just to save somebody's life. It could be a lot of times for insurance purposes. Somebody rear ends you or something like that.
What if your camera's rolling when somebody commits a kidnapping? You just got so it has a lot of implications.
It does have a value.
Yeah.
So and that's another practical application. Something I think that I can do, and I'd like to get that. Not everybody has a credit card, an Amazon account, or whatever, but they might be able to scrape together $15, $16, $18. And at least have a little bit more of a peace of mind that if something happens, they got an unbiased witness testify for them.
I think Four Black Brothers could implement some of these practices. In fact, I know that we are, because we spoke about this before. You had mentioned that you were talking about. So then we pledge to get involved on the level that you mean. Yeah, we absolutely do. So Four Black Brothers and Stephen
and this guy.
I love it. Stephen, I want to say thank you again for coming out today.
Anytime, brother.
Absolutely, truly was a pleasure to have you. This whole bringing guests on is a new thing we're doing. You only our third guest we brought on since we started doing this.
You guys had an ice cream dude over here.
Yeah. Oh man! Shout out to my man Lee B. Shout out to the queens, all the queens who came in. Shout out to Drew. Oh, I forgot. So four. Shout out to my man Drew. Fun time with him, bro. Drew. To all of our viewers, followers, listeners, we have some big things that we want to try to accomplish over the next few months. I want to say thank you to you guys for watching and supporting us. I'll ask that you continue to like, comment, share. We're going to continue to try to better ourselves as an organization. We're going to continue to bring you people like Stephen who can bring you nuggets of knowledge. And all we ask in return is that you support us in any way that you can. Stephen laid out a lot of great ideas, a lot of great points, a lot of knowledge. I am eternally grateful for what you've done, and I really do hope you'll come back and see us again.
Absolutely. What's the last three things on the live? Any questions? Like the last three?
So we're gonna have Ant check out live real quick to see if anything we want to address before we sign off. But in the meantime, I want to say to you guys, it's fun. What we do is fun. Last week was more of a light subject. We had a lot of fun. This week was definitely a more serious heart of the subject. We are not gonna lock ourselves down as one type of talk show. If you have something that you want to discuss, if you want to discuss something with Stephen, reach out to us. Let us know. We are more than willing to. A big part of what we're doing is involving the community, building the community that is us. And us does not mean all black guys, all black girls. Us means like-minded people who see the wrong injustices that are being implemented upon us as a people, as American citizens, and who want to see change. Unity. I am going to personally try to spearhead a unity program where basically I want to try to encourage you guys to do one good thing a day, one thing more than what you already do. I want to encourage you. You ever heard this term "pay it forward"?
Oh, yeah.
I want to start that. I want to start a "pay it forward" campaign because one act begets another act. Mm-hmm. Usually that's negative. But why we can't make that a positive thing? Why can't one positive act beget another? I'm talking about something that you do something for somebody for nothing in return. Not a thank you, not anything. If you get some return, hey, added bonus. But when you do it, it's tricky because it's the right thing to do. Let's try to do that once a day, every day. Let's try to document it and encourage our followers to do one good thing beyond what they already do every day. And document it. Doing a good thing is great if you do it from your heart. And I'm not saying you want to do it so you can get likes. But in this respect, I want you to get likes. I want you to do an act of kindness that show more good. Let me give you an example. When we first started this, we was doing our midweek videos. And Ant made a great video. Markel made a great video. I made a video. But my man Big
went on the street.
Went to the streets, found a guy, a local artist, and profiled him. And that was awesome. That's the type of thing we're talking about. It don't have to be something grand, but it can be. Just do something just because it's the right thing to do. Just do something because it's a good thing to do. Do it every day. Do something different every day for somebody. Make somebody day. Make somebody smile. A friend of mine at work said, I'll end it with this. A friend of mine at work said that if you get a person who having a bad day and you give them a genuine, hey, how you doing? And the next person they see, give them another, hey, how you doing? Genuine. And by the time they get to the fifth, hey, how you doing? And they all genuine, their day is now a good day. Mm-hmm. If we can start making people have good days, people start doing good things. And then a lot of these tragedies that we experience, that we see, that we have to hear about, they'll lessen. And if we can start to lessen the tragedies and start to increase the blessings, we can become the society that God made us to be. Because right now we failing. We failing, and it's all of our faults. Because we so self-engrossed in ourselves and in our cell phones and in the TV. Me, I'm a main one. But I'm going to make an effort starting right now on this show with y'all right now, my brothers and Steven, this guy, I love it. I'm going to bring it to the table and say that every day I'm going to make it my business to do something extra, something nice. I'm going to try to film it when I can or get a photo or something and when I can, and post it so I can encourage you guys to do it. And I would encourage my brothers and Steven to try and do the same thing if you feel that move in your heart. Because it starts somewhere. Every journey starts but with a step. This is our step. Let's start this journey. We're going to call it the Unity Tour. The Unity Tour. Yeah, we're going to call it the Unity Tour.
Anything you want to say, bro?
What you got?
I'm good. I'm in.